Okay, in this tutorial, I'm gonna do a demonstration of I'm using Reason connected with my XR app and the Behringer XR18 to create a live performance mix that I can use when I'm out on the road to actually basically set my mixer up to capture some of the instruments that I'll be using. This isn't actually tracks from a band. These are tracks that I created in Reason to just do a demonstration with. As you can see, as I go over to Reason for a bit, let me go to Reason. You could see I have um, approximately 16 tracks, and within that 16 tracks, I have drums, bass, some live guitar, keyboards, some vocals, and these are the actual track files I have here. If I go into my, let's see, hold on, my mixer setting and Reason, I just basically have all my tracks labeled and I have them set to 0 because I'm not using Reason other than I capture the recording in Reason, and I'm gonna use Reason to play back the audio through my XR18 to set up my speakers to get my kick sounding right, my bass. This is for a live setup. Just say I'm playing in a club or venue. So the way I did with Reason, you can see here in my preferences, I have the XR18 set up as my audio device. So Reason now is playing back my audio to my XR18. Um, the tracks as I capture the tracks, sorry, I have them labeled here. You can see how the inputs are labeled, and what I did, let me flip the rack. You can see I wired each of the output tracks back directly into the the hardware interface. That way I'm sending my I'm not sending it to the master section. If you could see, I bypass the master section and I'm sending all my tracks directly because I don't need anything from Reason to be a part of other than the tracks playing back to um to my XR. So right now I'll put up, let me put go here and I'll pull up my XR18 app, as you can see, and I have this here. So if I start Reason, you can see that my tracks are coming back into the way I want them. This is my kick, my snare, my hi-hats, and I have all my parts labeled on the XM mixer as the same way I would label them on my on Reason. What I also have, I have a talk back mic setup that you could see over on Reason side. If you look, you can see I have my talk back microphone, which is up at the top, and that is coming into my XR at number 7, channel 7. That's what you see I have here. Analog input set to mic line and not to USB return. If I go to my kick, you will see my kick is USB return. All my other channels are USB returns to get my signal from Reason that is coming in to my XR. Then so that is basically what I'm doing for a live mix here in XR. It would give me the opportunity now to actually set up my channels the way I want them to be in terms of um, using noise gate, EQ, compressors, and I would get into effects and stuff. But that is for another part of the tutorial because this would take up a really long time. What I'm trying to show you is how I set up XR18 to receive my tracks coming back from Reason. So if I bring the kick up, you can hear my kick drum. By the way, these songs are all drum songs that I use from Reason, and I program it in there to create a drum track for my mix. You can see here I have a guitar. So that's my tracks coming back. In order to feed the signal um back that I could actually use my talk back my hear it in my headphones and also send the audio out over OBS so you guys could hear what I'm doing in the mix. I'm using my headphones plugged directly into the XR18 headphone outputs. Then I took my right right output jack and I connected it to another audio interface, which is my Apogee Maestro 2 interface. You can see, and here's my signal that I'm sending back there so that it gets to the internet. It gets, sorry, not the internet, it gets to be able to be captured as part of the recording so that whatever I do with the file, you guys could hear the changes as I make the changes um, in real time. Let me pull up OBS a minute so you can see. If you can see OBS up, I'm using a mono signal to get the song back to so you guys can hear it. So the mix that you would be hearing is actually a mono mix, but I would set it up on another time. I'll do two mics coming back into my audio interface. This particular audio interface doesn't allow that, so I'm using one mic to come back. If I go over to Reason, here's the track playing in Reason. It's basic. I actually did use my live instruments while I play the drums and using a finger drum, the drums in to get what a drum pattern that I wanted, and I copied it a couple other bars. I use guitars and keyboards, but here and this part of Reason, as you can see, there's nothing here on my master section since I bypassed that. But if I can, well, I'm not gonna do anything over on the Reason side since I'm actually trying to mix this. All my monitoring would be in real time would be listening to my speaker system, which is set up to reproduce the song that you are hearing, which would normally be a stereo setup that would take care of that. So in the meantime, I'll bring the parts in so you can hear what I'm listening to. So here's my kick. And the reason why I'm not gonna put the levels that high is that I'm hearing myself in the headphone as well as the kick playing, and I want to be able to talk so that you guys could hear what I'm saying, but you can still hear the mix coming back at you. So that's my. So these levels that I'm setting, not necessarily the levels that I would be setting in a live situation. Just setting it up so you can hear it. Let's see if I mute my kick there. Actually, it would sound just a kick alone would be here. If I bring in my snare, okay, so I take that out. So that's my kick and my snare, my hi-hats. So let's set up a drum next. Okay, that's my high tom. This is my mid tom. Put at high tom and mid tom. Put at the center and a low tom. So that is my drum basic mix. Put in the crash. And you can see this is my buses here. This is what would normally feed my monitors. If I'm using whether it's in air or wedges, I can set up all my 6 buses that for there. And in the case of in the event I'm doing a live mix, I'll probably do my kick. I would send my kick to a bus, which would be normally bus 6. I can send my kick to bus 6. And in this event, by sending my kick to bus 6, what I would do is that I would bring my kick down here, and on my XR mixer itself, I would route my auxiliary 6 output to my subwoofer, and that way I would basically have just my bass guitar, which is this. I would have the 2 of these go into my bus 6 output that would be feeding my lows in a live situation. Back to my main mix. Let me put the music back. So here you're hearing the drums, and I haven't done any processing on the drums at all. I'm just basically just doing a fader mix because I don't want to take up a long time in this video. So I'll bring in my rhythm guitar. So let's see. Let me bring in some other and now I'll bring the vocals. Right, it's alright. Song that I'm getting, gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Song that I'm getting is so right. So this is actually I use take you back to the beginning, go over to recent. So I use some reason instrument songs to create my audio tracks. As you can see, I'm using all audio tracks in reason, but my live instruments that I played, I was able to send it into reason by using XR as my audio source with the 18s in and 18 out. So on the drums and stuff, and then I'll test it on my speaker system, and I'll actually start to create some mixes from this track so you can see what how it's coming out. Actually, my audio card just seemed to crash, but that is it for now, and I'll keep you posted on the other part of my recording and tutorial on the Behringer XR18 with Reason 10, creating a live song, song check to do a live mix. So look out for my next tutorial coming in maybe a day or two.